What's up, Knights of Fulcrum? It is me, your boy Gilbert,
And me, Harry.
and no Peaky because he's unfortunately not part of the Fantastic Four. In fact, we don't even have we have a Fantastic Two. Yeah, we're like that weird time when Wolverine and Spider-Man became Fantastic Four members.
I remember
Apparently
Spider-Man. Was that when Spider-Man was the bombastic bagman?
There's that, but then also apparently there was like the new Fantastic Four. It was them two, and I think there was their children. They became the new Fantastic Four, and then I was a very I think it was like 2015, 2016. I was one of the more recent comics runs. But
Damn,
yes,
comics do dumb shit all the time.
It's a weird thing, but just the same though. So what's up, everybody? It is us, your boys. We are here, and no Star Wars this week. No Ironheart. Harrison, did you even know that Ironheart happened? Because I did. I completely forgot.
I know it's come out. I didn't finish watching the first movie that Ironheart's in, the Wakanda Forever. So I sort of didn't really check out Ironheart.
Yeah, see, I just found out that the series finished, and I'm just like, oh shit, I guess I should get around to watching that at some point. But we're not doing that today. Instead, if you couldn't tell, we're doing the Fantastic Four. But not the good one, not the one with Michael B. Jordan in it. We're gonna be watching the one with Chris Evans.
The good one.
I know. I just wanted to make a bunch of nerds scream out in anger. Good one. Honestly, I think if for nostalgia's sake, I think a lot of people would say that this one is the good one.
I think a lot of people would. Yes. Yeah. It might be the best we've had so far. I'll say that.
All right, so I think I like the Rise of the Silver Surfer better, simply because Lawrence Fishburne is a good choice for Silver Surfer. But yeah, I think you might be very well right, because there's not a lot whole else great about that movie, because they turned Galactus into a giant space hurricane.
Yeah, no. I remember when I first heard about that, and I was like, well, there's no point in seeing this movie. like this sucks. If you're gonna do that to Galactus, you got no respect for comics. You got no respect for what you're dealing with there. No.
Exactly, and I'm just like, yeah, that's no bueno, not cool. All right. Anyway, so let's go ahead and I guess before we get started, how long has it been since you've last seen this movie? I'll just talk about that so we let a few people trickle in.
It's got to be since the 2000s. I don't think I've watched this certainly since I became an adult. I think so I saw it when it came out. I know I saw it when it came out, and I got the feeling that I saw it on TV a couple of times, once or twice afterwards. But I've never been super into this. One of the main things that drew me to this movie and brought me back a few times was Michael Chiklis. I'm a quite big Michael Chiklis fan. He plays Ben Grimm in this.
Oh yeah.
You can expect me to hear me talking about The Shield throughout this watch through, because I love The Shield. It was a fantastic TV show.
Excellent movie or show. Yeah, excellent show. And then also, honestly, Chris Evans, Jessica Alba, I'm not as big into, but yeah, I think Chris Evans is really good. But even before he was Captain America, he was doing a ton of different roles, and he was really cool in them.
Jessica Alba. I might have cared about Jessica Alba because it was the same year. Because I think, wasn't Jessica Alba in Sin City in 2005 as well? Yes, she was. Yeah.
Oh, that's right. I forgot about that.
Yeah, that was my preferred Jessica Alba movie, because she's the little girl that writes to Bruce Willis while he's in prison.
And then she's the one who he saves at the beginning. Yeah, she's the one who he saves it at the very beginning of the movie, and it turns out she's the stripper in the bar during it. Yeah, like that. That was pretty cool. Oh man. I'm just trying to think of other movies Jessica Alba's been in, but I'm like, fuck, dude, the Machete, the Love Guru. Let's see. I mean, she was in Sin City too, but I'm like, that's
Yeah, I'll be honest, never saw it.
Anyway, so yeah, I think that's enough time to get us ready. Let's go ahead and get the things started. I have mine. I have mine already. I don't know about you. I don't know how you guys are watching this, whether or not you're on Disney Plus, DVD, or you're taken to the high seas. But yeah. So in 5, 4, 3, 2, press play. So we don't get in trouble. Anyway, so this is an old ass movie. I can't believe this movie is 21 years old, or no, 20 years old at this point.
Yeah, no, that is kind of crazy. That's, oh God, 20 years. Yeah, I didn't think about that. Damn. And I don't think of Chris Evans as like, I mean, he's not old, but when I think that Chris Evans was in this 20 years ago and he's still being Chris Evans out there, I'm like, nah, that's what? No.
I mean, he's 44 years old and he's still, yeah. Well, so I'm just going to shout out to Deadpool. I enjoyed having him back as Human Torch in that movie. That was real fun. And so I think Chris Evans is probably one of the best parts of this movie, is because his portrayal of Johnny Storm is just perfect.
Interesting. Yeah, probably. I don't know whether I'd say it's one of the best things, because I didn't come out of this movie going like, hey, this Chris Evans dude, I really like this guy. And for years I'd forgotten, like, I saw Captain America and didn't remember that he was Johnny Storm in these movies.
Really?
Yeah, maybe it's just because I wasn't that into these. Like, I've never been a huge Fantastic Four fan. I saw stuff. I mean, did you ever watch the old cartoon, like 90s cartoon that they had?
I can't say that I did. I remember I was aware of it, but I wasn't really ever into it. I think it took this movie to actually make me interested in Fantastic Four for the first time.
Oh, fascinating. Okay.
It's 2005. I was in 5th grade. Yeah, so I was maybe like 9 or 10 years old when this movie came out.
Yeah. Yeah, I would have been like 13, 14, depending on what time of year this came out.
Mm-hmm.
No, but yeah, I knew Fantastic Four through that. So, like a lot of those 90s cartoons, they were really good for being like a kind of breakdown, like a crash course in the lore of a comic. So you get a lot of like the big deal stuff. So, there's a lot of stuff about Skrulls. You see the Super Skrull, you see Galactus. I do remember in the cartoon, there was quite a cool episode where loads of other Marvel heroes turned up to help fight Galactus. And I specifically remember...
I do. I remember what you're. Yeah, I know what you're talking. I do, like Ghost Rider and Thor and like all these other, like Doctor Strange showed up and they all like did some like weird magic shit. I'm like, yeah, no, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, and like that was my favorite bit. It was like Ghost Rider does the penitent stare on Galactus.
I remember watching that and thinking it was like goofy and just being like, what the fuck? What is going on here? Like, and yeah, so I didn't watch a whole lot of that show, but I distinctly remember that being a thing that I viewed once, and that was nuts. Let me see here. Did you remember the 2000s one that they made? Like the kind of like updated, like they had like really like white and with blue trim suits and like I don't know, Johnny Storm had like a mullet going on.
No, I don't remember that at all.
Like, I think they made it either after or like leading up to this show or to this movie to like tie into it. Like they had She-Hulk show up on that episode, on that show for like a couple episodes, and she was part of the Fantastic Four.
A French-Canadian co-production from 2006 to 2007.
Yeah, that was the one. Yep. Like I saw that. Wow. I saw it on my Disney Plus and I added it to my watch list like ages ago, and I've just never gotten around to watching it because I don't know if it's any good. I just know that there's a couple here and there.
I don't trust those cartoons. I remember checking out a few of those sort of 2000s cartoons. The fact that I think it's at least it's not to be trusted, but the crappy AI overview that Google gives says it was a 3D animated show.
Hmm. Yeah, see, I don't remember that, but the only 3D show I remember was the Spider-Man one that got made by MTV.
Yeah, because that's what I was thinking. That reminds me of the 3D but cel-shaded Spider-Man show they made, which wasn't awful, but I've forgotten it pretty easily.
Yeah, they had Neil Patrick Harris in there. That was cool.
Anytime you can have Doogie Howser, why not? Always have Doogie Howser.
Yeah, I mean, why not? So, all right, we mentioned this off air. I just wanted to bring this up since he's on screen right now. It's really, really eerie that, like, just before we did this episode, that dude died. The guy who played Victor Von Doom died.
Yeah, no, that was kind of surprising, and it's weird because I hadn't thought about him in years, and then like we do this. Peaky is the one who brought it to our attention. Julian McMahon died, and I was like, oh damn.
Yeah, it's like just weird. And so again, not next week necessarily, but I think I have to cancel next week. But the week after, when we do Rise of the Silver Surfer, I'm like, oh boy, are we gonna have some horrible news about Lawrence Fishburne? And I'm like, should we even tempt fate?
Do you know what? Right. Okay. Here's my thing. The universe can have Lawrence Fishburne as long as they don't take Doug Jones, the guy who played the body of the Silver Surfer, because I ain't done with Doug Jones yet. He's turning up in loads of things, and I love it when he does.
Doug Jones. Okay.
Doug Jones is he's the guy who's always in he's in Pan's Labyrinth, he's in Shape of Water.
Yeah, he did the body of work for for Abe Sapien in the Hellboy movies.
Yes. Yeah. Doug Jones is awesome. If you watch What We Do in the Shadows, he is the Baron in that. Like I love Doug Jones.
No kidding. Yeah, it looks like he's done body work for like the monsters in a lot of these movies.
Yeah.
Like, apparently he was Billy Bo, like the guy from Hocus Pocus, was the zombie.
Oh yeah, he was. Yeah, he was in Star Trek Discovery. He's like the alien member of the crew on that. Like Doug Jones is everywhere, but you often don't see him. Weirdly, you can recognize him by the way he moves. Like they all move like Abe Sapien. Like, yeah, it's all hands. Like it's permanently just doing.
Yeah.
Exactly that.
I do love Pan's Labyrinth.
I think the only time, until he's done recent things, the only time I'd ever seen his face was in the slightly obscure Ben Stiller comedy superhero movie, Mystery Men.
Oh yeah, he's in that one. I think I also remember seeing him in Legion, that Paul Bettany movie. Or not Paul, yeah, Paul Bettany.
Legion. Is that one about angels?
Yeah, it's the one about like Paul Bettany is like he's like Gabriel or not Gabriel. He's like Michael, and he falls to Earth because he has to save like the next Messiah or some such.
Yeah,
and I think Doug Jones is like one of the demons in that, and he's like all he goes all like stretchy and his arms all mess up. Yeah, check it out. You'll know exactly what I'm talking about.
No, I think I've seen it like on TV late at night a long, long time ago. So
we haven't been talking about the movie at all.
Well, I suppose we're going through the setup phase, but we're getting to right. So this is one of the things where, because I'm not as big as a Fantastic Four fan, as far as I know, this is sort of like the actual origin. I know that it's like cosmic rays that make them the Fantastic Four. Is that correct? They go to space. That happens.
Yeah. They go to space. I believe that this is all pretty much spot on. Like they go to space. The Victor Von Doom part of it all, like I don't know about that, but the whole them going to space, having the cosmic rays hit them, and then being affected by it in different ways. Yes, and I think Ben, it like does explain that he got more rays than them because he was out. I do believe that sounds correct, but I don't. But I know the space part is 100% true. Yeah,
okay. And it was the Fan Four Stick movie, I think, that then turned their origin story into essentially the beginning of Half-Life. Like
kind of, yeah, because it makes it like a whole interdimensional. Like I think that's also a part of the the Ultimate run of Fantastic Four, because I think that's when they started doing like I'm messing around with fucking portals to other dimensions and shit.
The Ultimate era. Some things were great from the Ultimate era. I liked a lot of the Ultimate X-Men, and they also did some really weird stuff that I wasn't sure on.
Ultimate Spider-Man was pretty cool, but yeah, no, it got a lot of the Ultimate era stuff got really weird.
Didn't Doctor Doom have goat legs in the Ultimate Fantastic Four?
Maybe, I don't know. Hey, I gotta Google that. Doctor Doom goat legs. Oh shit! It actually did. But yes, he did have goat legs.
Yeah, I can't remember.
But they were like metal goat legs. They were like he built them himself. He had like devil hooves.
Weirdness. Okay, but anyway, yeah. So we've got our standard thing. Like, I don't want to sort of diss this movie or like Fantastic Four in general, but I do feel like you can kind of skim over a lot of this story, and I think it looks like this is sort of what we're going to see a bit of in the new movie. It's not going to be like a big origin story. We know who the Fantastic Four are. They're the Fantastic Four.
Yeah, we know their origins. We get it. They're like, if anything, they're going to show maybe a flashback, or it's going to be like a news article, like 20 years ago, the Fantastic Four were created, blah 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 blah, and it's going to show like news footage of them getting hit by the rays or some such. But yeah, I don't think we're going to get it's going to be a quick blink and you'll miss it. Like we're just going to gloss over it because we just need to get to the story already.
Yeah, we don't need to be told why they're going to space and what they're doing. And even in this, I'm like, I know they go to space. Let's get the space bit over with. I want to get to the shenanigans when they're hanging out in New York with their new superpowers.
Yeah, right. Also, that whole scene where Johnny is walking around and it's a big walking ad. It's just like Sobe and Dr. Pepper and Pepsi and fucking Mountain Dew. And I'm just like, oh my god, there's so much product placement here. That must be how they paid for the movie. Was that one scene where he's at the dirt bike rally?
It has gotten bad sometimes. I mean, it was always bad, I suppose, since this is 20 years ago. But damn, sometimes when you go watch movies, particularly the thing I always have in Marvel movies is I'm like, all these bad guys sure do love to drive Audis. That's a real nice Audi 4x4 they're driving.
Yeah, also Iron Man, but that's beside the point. But you're right. They all like to drive Audis and BMWs. And it's like, oh, I can't imagine why that is.
I saw a great piece of product placement that someone pointed out in the Brad Pitt movie World War Z, where there's a bit like right near the end where Brad Pitt stops for a minute while he's trying to cure the zombie virus to drink a can of Pepsi, like with the logo really in camera.
Yeah, no, that's like it's kind of funny. Like I like when they're clever about it, like they do it in X-Men, where he like opens the fridge and it's a lotion, and you can see the Dr. Pepper and the beer and the shit. Like, and I'm like, okay, that makes sense. But when you're just it's like that scene from Wayne's World.
Exactly. Oh damn, the cosmic rays are here. What are we gonna do?
Oh, dude, that would, like, joke if you will, but in real life, that would, like, imagine being fucking Ben in that situation. That would suck.
No, like, that's true.
Like, no, I'm gonna die. It's like at that point, just like, nope, I'm just gonna fucking die. Like, there's no fucking way I'm gonna make this. Oh,
no, you can't leave him out there, you fucking bastard.
Gotta love it. Because she's a hero. She cares. Like, but he's not wrong though. You can't. What are you gonna do? Like, you're gonna go run out there and die with them.
To be fair, yeah, it is exactly the correct thing to do. Like, you're on a spaceship. Safety protocols in space are really important. Like, this will probably kill everybody else if you like leave yourself unprotected just to get Ben back.
Also, not that it matters, but it's just a little nitpick. Where are the rest of the crew? Like, he has this space station just sitting up in space. Like, presumably it needs astronauts to run it. Where are they?
Yeah, like, I don't think the International Space Station is just like left empty for a while until they want to send somebody up. Like, it's being used. If you've taken all the cost and effort to get a station to orbit Earth, you are going to use it.
That's what I mean. Is that like, so, like, I want to watch the movie about like the other Fantastic Four, like the four astronauts that are just up here, like, you know, doing like science. It's like, I want to see what happens to plants that grow in 0G. Like, I want to see that person, what they're doing now, because like, there's no way there's not like a janitor up there. You know what I mean? There's got to be a guy.
There's just some people who are like, all they do is they use their powers to make their day slightly more convenient.
Yeah, exactly.
So looking at this,
I
seem to remember someone, they tried to, I don't know whether this is at all in the comics, but it was sort of suggested, I believe, in this movie and elsewhere, that the powers of the Fantastic Four, at least in this, are supposed to represent a part of them. So like Reed Richards is stretchy because he's always stretching himself in so many different directions. And Johnny Storm is a young hothead, so, you know, turns to fire. Ben Grimm is hard as rock.
He's literally the Rock of the group. Like he's like what's his name? He's Reed's Rock.
Yeah, like he's solid.
Right.
You know, he's dependable, sturdy, but kind of stubborn. But then you come to like, okay, so Sue is like shy and like, or she's hiding away.
I guess she feels unseen, maybe. Or like,
I think my issue with it is in this film, it's Jessica Alba. No one is not looking at Jessica Alba.
Yeah, right. I mean, yeah, it's nuts. But you're right. I think maybe it's maybe focusing more on her like force field powers, because she's more like she's like the mom of the group. She's the one who's like diffusing, like protecting everyone and diffusing the situations and everything. Like, I don't know. It's funny, like, but to do that, like, their powers kind of like go off of their like personalities. But then you got Victor, who was behind the shields, and it's like, oh, well, that's why you're turning to metal, is because the shields affected you. You got hit by the cosmic rays, and they were filtered by the metal. Apparently, I don't know.
Actually, that's a good point. We can talk more about it potentially when we start seeing it. But how do you feel about the Von Doom in this? Because I think it upset a lot of people, the way that he's just turning into metal.
Yeah, so I don't know exactly what Dr. Doom's like actual origins are. Like, why did he get, like, was he in an accident or something? Did he get scarred, or like what happened that made him ugly?
I believe that he did get scarred. It's annoying because there is a very good audio comic on the Russian Comic Book Geeks channel. So after this, please go check it out. It is the Books of Doom, and I got to play a lot of characters in that. I love like his comic book origin story, because like Doctor Doom, and this might be why Marvel have cast Robert Downey Jr. to play him. Doctor Doom is like Tony Stark, but he was a wizard before he became a scientist. Like Doctor Doom like has this whole thing of like his mother was like a practicer of sort of black gypsy magic, and he came from like a traveling community in Latveria, and I think at some point, I think it might be that he either sold his soul to the devil, to Mephisto, or Mephisto has his mother's soul, so he has to do some stuff for him. But yeah, like Doctor Doom learns black magic, but also goes to MIT and also is like a super genius with technology, and uses both of those.
Okay, so yeah, we got that. So it says Doom's pursuit of knowledge led him to dabble in dangerous experiments. One such experiment attempting to open a portal to another dimension, which resulted in scarring, and in a scarring accident that forced him to wear his iconic metal mask. It also says that his parents, particularly his mother, suffered greatly. His mother, a sorceress, was forced to serve Mephisto and eventually died. And that fueled Doom's resentment and desire for power. So yeah, apparently his mom was a sorceress, which explains why he has like magical powers.
That makes sense, yeah. That's it. Doom's cool. I think Doom's great, and like I say, please do check out that audio comic. I think cool. It's a great comic, and the audio production's good.
With that in mind, I think that like the Doom that they have in this, it is definitely a dumbed down version compared to that, because all it is just like, oh yeah, you got hit by the cosmic rays too, and now you're turning to metal, and then it's weird because in the next movie, the Silver Surfer flies over him, and what, he just heals, but still has his like electric powers.
Yeah, I don't really get that. I don't get the lightning powers. Like, oh, he just has lightning powers. Like, I'm like,
yeah, that doesn't make any sense. Okay, so I just want to bring this up since we're on the scene right now. This is the kind of stuff that, like, I think it was nostalgia that made me say it, but it's like, this is the kind of shit that made me think that Johnny Storm was the best part. Because I'm just like, I want to do that. I want to go fucking snowboarding with a hot girl on a mountain.
Were you really big into the SSX games at the time?
I think so. Yeah, I really was. I was BMX, skateboarding, that kind of shit. I was like, I was a big old dork about that.
Is that some?
And so
Is that some 41 playing in the background as
yeah,
well?
that is indeed some 41.
I can't be mad at some 41.
This is the most 2000s fucking like era scene I've ever seen in my life. You will never see this in a Marvel movie today because this is just like too like what are you trying to be like how edgy are you trying to be really?
It's kind of a miracle that Johnny Storm doesn't have frosted tips in this.
I feel like there must have been a conversation of like, so Chris, how okay would you be to like bleach blonde your hair? And he's just like, no, fuck you guys.
Hey Chris, I think that we could make you feel a little bit more Fieri. How do you feel about that?
I mean, it would definitely work with the whole boy band thing that he has going on the entire movie, but yeah, no, he would look like such a douche.
I almost wonder whether they gave him the frosted tips and then cut it off, and that's why he's got like the kind of crew cut thing going on.
Yeah, and it's also like a really weird decision for them because it's like I don't know, every time you see Johnny Storm, he always has like the boy band, like you said, frosted tips, like his shit's all gelled up. This one is just like, nah, he just buzzed it.
Yeah, he's got much more the sort of blonde hair. Maybe the curtains, if you're feeling particularly 90s, the Leon S. Kennedy haircut. But no, normally it's a bit more slick than that.
Mm.
And
also, he's like all sideburns.
God, yeah, he is. Yeah.
But, again, shit like that. Like, he's sitting there naked in the fucking snow, and the girl just like, yeah, fuck it, I'll jump in with you. I'm like, we all wanted to do that.
Yeah, this I'm not going to say that this movie is terrible in its depictions of women. It's very of its time.
Yeah, it was 2005 as hell. And I'm like, I cannot deny that at all. Like, if you were to just show this to someone, like, I feel like they would absolutely be able to tell it was from the early 2000s era.
There's a lot of like stuff for the dad that brought his kids to the movie theater here, which we will see particularly with Jessica Alba later.
Yeah, her like, let me see. Yeah, her getting naked, like and then turning. And I remember that. I love how they did that not once but twice in these movies. Like they kept that joke rolling multiple times.
Yeah,
Jesus Christ, guys, really.
Hey guys, I know you brought your kids here. Look, she's gonna be in her pants again. It's fine. We'll get her in her underwear. Don't you worry.
Yeah, and then we're gonna heavily imply that she's naked. Like, well, no, in the second movie, yeah, they do that. Like where she like goes on fire and then she like falls, and then they have like the sitcom thing where they cover up her with like a flagpole or like a light pole or something like that. And then she goes invisible again. Yeah, no, they do some stuff like that, and I'm like, dude, poor Jessica Alba.
They go full Austin Powers on her.
Yeah, full on. Yeah, and that's wild.
It's kind of fun. I've got the sound on low on this, obviously, so I can hear you. So like, I'm not hearing a huge amount of the dialogue. So it's kind of interesting watching this movie without any dialogue and be like, how easily can you follow along with what's happening here? I'm like, they're having dinner. Oh no, Ben Grimm feels something strange in his chest. What could be happening?
I mean, yeah, I you're not wrong. It's kind of all right, Harrison. Dub what they're saying without the subtitles. Tell me what they're saying right now.
Look, I don't know why you wanted to come here. This place is always empty. That's why I love it. There's no one ever here. Yeah, but I wanted to go to a fancy restaurant, not to this place. The reason no one's here is because they have a 2 on their health rating. Like that, they are almost going to be closed down. Dude, I told you, it's fine. I saw a rat. It was outside. It was in the lobby. That's not outside.
The funny thing is I actually have mine on low volume too, so watching you actually start talking is kind of starting to sync up with that.
She's turning invisible.
See, again, she feels like, do you know what it's like to not feel heard, to not feel seen? And so it's like, okay, that's a little on the nose, but thank you.
Yeah. Also, how come Reed Richards was the only one who gets grey hair from the cosmic rays?
That's a good question. See, all right, so there's a dumb thing too. So I feel like in the comic books he already had gray hair. That was just a thing that was just part of him. And in this, they're just like, oh yeah, no, the cosmic rays made him like age, or made him just like, I don't know. I don't understand why that works or how it works, but whatever. They wanted to make it comic book accuracy.
Yeah, I don't know if it's supposed to be like in Evil Dead 2 when Bruce Campbell gets so scared it turns like part of his hair white.
Oh yeah, groovy.
Here's the thing, because I was talking to my girlfriend about this, saying I was going to go watch this movie, and both of us had this real distinct memory of this guy. So Julian McMahon, he was in a TV show called Nip Tuck about plastic surgeons, and it was the thing. I never saw it because I was, a young teenager at the time. It wasn't the sort of show I was into, but it was so heavily advertised. Like, I don't know why, but it was like a huge show, it seems, at least for how much I saw it being advertised on TV. But no one ever talks about it.
Yeah, I think it was like FX was really trying to push that. Like, it was one of their like FX original series, and they were really, really trying to like force it down people's throats and be like, "Yeah, guys, check it out. We got this dude. He's a fucking a plastic surgeon. He's constantly banging his patients. Like, dude, you should try it out." Like, I don't know. It was I think I saw one episode of that, and it didn't. I'm like, I don't care about this.
All right, this is something that I quite like. I love the juxtaposition between like Johnny is like so happy and like thinks that his powers are so amazing, while Ben is just suffering. Ben Grimm is one of my preferred Marvel characters. I love that like Ben is big and strong, and I suppose in a similar way to the Hulk, his powers are not just a good thing for him. And a lot of his story is about coming to terms with like these bad things that happen in life and living with it. I really appreciate that.
Agreed. Because Johnny is kind of right. If all four of them were able to turn it on and off at will, then those powers are nothing but a gift, and they're fun, and they are, it's like something to enjoy. But for Ben, it is absolutely like a curse, because he's a rock man and he can never turn that off. He's constantly having to deal with and like they make jokes about it constantly in these two movies about how he's just dealing with the worst of life. He can't even like eat food because he bites the fucking fork off, like, or he breaks the cup and shit like that, So like he can't lay in a bed unless it's reinforced. He can't go down an elevator because it's gonna break. It's like, I would hate to have the Thing's powers. But that makes him an interesting character because it's tragic.
Yeah, and like I remember that cartoon that I used to watch. I think and they do it in this movie. I forgot they do it in this movie. They do the thing that the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles movie did, where they think that if you put a hat and a trench coat on, no one can see any other part of you.
Well, you have to understand, it was also nighttime, and it has to be in a city where it's perpetually nighttime, and you have to wear like the trench coat and the fucking like the fucking what's it, fedora.
But I just remember that show having so many scenes of Ben, like anytime he had to do something that wasn't hanging out with the Fantastic Four, he put on his trench coat and his big like fedora, and then would go outside and hide from people, and no one would ever notice unless they were a loved one that he was approaching and speaking to, and then they would scream and run away from him, and he would feel sad.
That is, yeah. While we're on the topic of Ben, how do you feel about like every other one and the one that's coming out did a CGI Ben Grimm? How do you feel about this one doing like the full-on rubber suit?
I think it was the right choice for 2005. I think like a CGI Ben Grimm, I don't think would have worked. Like a fully CGI Ben Grimm wouldn't have worked in 2005. We saw just now like Reed's arm stretching, and it's not terrible, it's not bad, but it is still kind of limited, and especially maybe it's just because I'm looking at it now in 2025, but it doesn't fully work, and I wouldn't want to see a full CG Ben Grimm at this time. So I love the fact that they do the suit, and I think if I remember rightly, Michael Chiklis, who plays Ben, was one of the people who said, no, we need to do the suit. Like, we've got to do this. I think, if I remember rightly, I think he was quite a big Fantastic Four fan.
Really? That sounds familiar. I do believe that like I remember hearing something about him like wanting to. We're gonna talk about that in a second about his wife here in a minute. But yeah, but no, it's kind of like like I don't want to say ballsy, but it's kind of like I don't know. I'm not sure what the word is. Like I guess respected. Like I can respect that he's actually like, no, dude, we put me in this heavy ass rubber suit that's probably gonna be hot as shit to be in. But
yeah. I mean, maybe it helps you get into the mindset of Ben Grimm. If you're miserable while playing this character, maybe it really helps.
Yeah. Fair. And now that before it ends, let's talk about the fact that his wife just comes out down the street, just like full on 90
in her negligee. Yeah,
like, I love it. I love it so much.
We saw one of those ads go past as well. That taxi had a massive Samsung sign on it.
Oh, dude, I haven't seen a Samsung phone in a long time.
Samsung's all right. I use Samsungs for many a year.
Yeah, no, I believe I had a Samsung, one of those flip phones back when I was like a teenager, but damn, dude, it's been a minute since I've actually seen a phone marked Samsung.
Have you seen they brought them back? Well, not sort of brought them back, but like my girlfriend's got one. It's a folding smartphone, and it is a Samsung.
Oh, no shit. Okay, yeah. No, actually, no, I think my friend has one of those too. I didn't realize it was bad. Nice.
No, weird stuff. This is where you get a really good look at that suit. That suit's great. Like you could do a much worse suit than that. What they did looks fantastic, I think.
I would agree. Honestly, if they were to try to do this again, like do another rubber suit, another like prosthetic thing like that for Ben Grimm today, or for a future Fantastic Four movie, I might be down for it. Because like that actually, that suit still kind of holds up today. Like watching it,
I can see like when he's still, it's a good move. When he moves, you can see how restricted he is in that suit. But like I think like the fact that it's not just like flat on him, it's not like it's just flat and they painted on a texture of the rocks. You can see like the rocks do actually like rise and fall, like there is physical texture to it.
I think the only part that's weird about it is that it like stretches or bends, and that's the part where I'm like, okay, so if he's made of rock, it shouldn't be like it's very clearly rubber, but yeah, so I would love to see them do something where like all the different pieces look like they are different parts of rock, but still like a physical like costume.
I'm not so sure about that because it looks like he's only got 3 fingers, like, or 4 if you can include the thumb. Like they're giving him like real cartoon hands. This. Cool. I don't think this was the first superhero movie to do the shouldering a moving car / bus. No, because Hellboy did it. Hellboy did the shoulders of the car. Yeah,
no, he punches it and it flies over. So yeah, they did. You're right. Yeah, it definitely wasn't the first, but it was early. It was early on when they started. Before that became just the thing.
Yeah, like it maybe didn't start the trend, but it feels like an iconic moment in the trend. Is Ben Grimm going into this? And maybe it's also because, talking about Ben Grimm, maybe it's also because I'm a big X-Men fan. Why I like Ben Grimm so much, because he has a lot of X-Men style stories. Like, this has happened with a lot of X-Men characters, like particularly say like Nightcrawler or others who look more strange and people are scared of them. So I enjoy Ben just desperately going, hey, come on, for the love of God, stop running away from me.
Yeah. Like, and that is kind of a bummer is that he's actually like he's doing all this stuff to help these guys, and they're still looking at him like they're scared. And it's like, dude, even like later on when this whole scene is done and his wife shows up and just like puts the wedding ring on the ground, like, oh, you bitch.
Oh, here we go. Jessica's stripping. Now,
yeah, here we go.
We've talked about some others about this, like, but halfway through, you got to see her again because we got to give those dads something.
Straight up, man. Like, and yeah, we are just about we're almost at the halfway mark for the movie, and it's like, yep. I'm like, fuck the cops. He's helping him. I do love this scene. There is some humor.
I think it works because, like, you know, the Fantastic Four are one of the slightly sillier superheroes. Yeah, I feel like there is a lightheartedness to them when you go through. Yeah, well, obviously every comic book has had its more serious eras, but it does come from, you know, this 50s 60s style of comics, and, you know, it's a bit camper. So I think it works well in this movie, having that humor.
Said Superman. Okay, so I just wanted to point this out real quick. So we got Universal in here saying Superman is on Friday. Fantastic Four is not for a couple of weeks. Well, that may be true, but I didn't want to watch Man of Steel, first of all, because that movie's fucking boring. And the 70s Superman, I don't think we like. As much as I love that movie, 2 hours is a lot. And for my son, you will be their hope for the. You know, I mean, like, I love that movie with a passion, but I'm like, I don't think you guys would want us to be trying to make small talk while that shit is going on.
To be honest, like, I am just not a big Superman fan. However, the Superman movie that's coming out soon, it's the first Superman movie that I think I'm going to go check out because, like, I trust James Gunn, basically. Like, and I trust James Gunn to take something I wouldn't think was a good idea and make it a good idea, because he keeps doing that consistently.
Fair, yeah. Like, and he brings things that people had no interest in, like Guardians of the Galaxy, and makes them into like a hit that gets 3 goddamn movies. So I can't wait to see what he does with Superman and with the DC universe in general.
Oh, yeah.
Especially after watching like, what's it called? Creature Commandos. Yeah, no, I don't think James Gunn can do any wrong. So you're not watching Super Doggy? No, we're totally watching it. I mean, I'm going to watch Superman. I'm just not watching it the old ones in preparation. Let's see.
The only one I might watch, because I think it's a bit of an interesting oddity, is the 2000s one. I can't remember the name of the actor.
Brandon Routh.
Yeah.
And Kevin Spacey.
Oh, I forgot Spacey was in it. But yeah, the poor forgotten Superman. Like the Scott Pilgrim guy. That's the only thing I can think of that he's in.
See, I don't say it's the poor forgotten. It's definitely forgotten, but I don't think it's the poor forgotten. I'm like, that is probably, like, they tried to make it a sequel to the Christopher Reeves ones, and it's like it fails so miserably to be that. I
say poor forgotten more for the actor. I feel sorry for him. That, like, that guy got, like, what you'd think would be an amazing role, and it got him very little.
Yeah, I don't. It's sad that when you're more known for Dylan Dog, Dead of Night or whatever, versus I don't know if you remember that. Like, he was like a paranormal investigator.
No, I don't remember.
Yeah, so it's a comic book movie. Yeah, so it's called Dylan Dog, Dead of Night, and apparently he's like Constantine kind of, but it's Brandon Routh, and like I argue if you ask people about that movie versus Superman Returns, they might know more. Or Scott Pilgrim. It's sad when you're known more for being the vegan than you are for being goddamn Superman.
Like, one of the only other things I know he was in was a lesser known or lesser seen Kevin Smith movie, Zack and Miri Mecha Porno, which I recommend. It's a very good movie.
That is a very good movie. It's very Kevin Smithian, and if you like Clerks kind of movies, then yeah, that's what I would say.
Yeah, given that even in the movie about making porn, he puts in a bit about, hey, I made Clerks. Do you remember how I made Clerks? Do you remember how I made a movie in the place where I work? What if these guys made a movie in the place where they work?
So yeah, Ronin, didn't he write it? He didn't direct it, but didn't he write that movie? Or like, how was Kevin Smith involved in that one?
Oh yeah, he wrote and directed Zack and Miri Mecha Porno.
Oh, okay. I thought it was Seth Rogen that wrote that one, but yeah, okay.
No, I think Seth Rogen's just in it. He might have had some writing credit because, like, he's probably making up jokes while he's there. But yeah, no, it's a great movie. Did very badly, but I think it's real good. Poor old Ben Grimm.
Had real life porn star Katie Morgan in it. just a fun fact for anyone who wanted to. But but you're right. Poor Ben Grimm, and also she just watched him save a bunch of people. They're all cheering his name and all like, "Yay, hooray for the guy!" And she's just like, "No, I can't be married to a rock."
Yeah, like it's also weird stuff because it's like, how did she know? So did she like see on the news that he was there, and then like turn up specifically to like, no, I shall not be with you. Take your ring
to
back.
tell him she wasn't married to him anymore. Like what a bitch.
Also, to point out that like the whole thing of like Jessica Alba getting into her underwear and then getting naked was so that she could get through the big crowd that was blocking them, and she does that.
And the guys get through there.
They just turn up anyway.
They walk through. Yeah, no. So she walks away, and she's like, "Excuse me, pardon me." Walks through the crowd, invisible, and then Johnny picks up her clothes, and they just walk around the crowd. If you could have done that anyway, they just need an excuse to show off their powers.
Hey, hey guy who could fly, maybe fly around. Hey guy who could stretch up and like grab onto the beams of the bridge and get over. Like, how about you do something else?
Yeah, I love how like that whole scene is really just meant to be like, hey, check out what we can that's the introduction to their powers in case you don't know what the Fantastic Four are. And then very soon we're coming up on the scene where he does like the BMX or not the motocross thing and then becomes a total tool.
Oh, okay. I don't remember the BMX one. What's
or like I think it's still about like. Oh, no, actually, no, it's a while off. It's about 20 minutes off. But yeah, we're coming on that scene, and when you see it, you'll know it's when he steals one of the costumes and then goes off to the BMX show, or not again. I keep saying BMX, but to the motocross show, and then fucking like somehow gets in and they just let him wreck a bike.
I love this shot. Ben is so like awkward. Like the thing is just. Yeah, I'm here.
Oh, dude. Like, all right, so again, I like Johnny Storm, but he is kind of insufferable in these movies.
Yeah, no, he's quite a douchebag. It's weird actually because like that's quite a thing for Chris Evans. Like played douchebags for quite a while, and I think it was Captain America that made us go like, oh, he can be like a nice guy.
If you watch Glass Onion, he goes right, or not Glass Onion. If you watch Knives Out, he goes right back to being a douchebag. I think Chris Evans missed being a playing just like an immature dick, and just wanted to go back to those roles. So he's just like, fuck it, I'm done with Captain America now.
Because like he was like that. He was like that. Well, he was a type of douchebag, not the same type, but he was a douchebag in Scott Pilgrim, and he was a douchebag in Losers. The Losers?
Okay, yeah, The Losers. I mentioned that earlier. Dude, I love him in The Losers. He is like he channels that same energy that he channels here, except I think it's a lot funnier.
The scene with the sniper and the finger guns is pretty good.
Yeah, just like that was a very funny scene. That entire thing where he goes up there like singing Journey in the elevator and then like getting naked while the girls like open the elevator doors open and all these women see him like with his dong out. See, the stolen spot on Larry King is the true reason that Victor hates the Fantastic Four. Well, there's that. Also, the fact that he's losing his hair and his looks.
The Baxter Building. Here we go. They got their powers. They're in the Baxter Building. Stan Lee's got to turn up delivering mail. It's going to be great.
Oh God, dude! I can't believe. Yeah, that was 20 years ago when Stan Lee was still alive, and nobody was worried about him. Kick. What I mean? Nobody had worried about him kicking the bucket yet. He was just a fixture in every movie.
Well, he was one of those guys who like he's been old for as long as anyone has known him. So you can't worry about him aging. He's already old. He's going to be old forever.
Exactly. So when he got super old, like nobody batted an eye because he already had white hair. He already had liver spot. He was already an old man. Like, it sucks. But
we didn't care that he was 90. It was fine. It's like Christopher Lee. Christopher Lee was like that for a real long time. We're like, yeah, he's old, but he's fine. He's still going to be around. We're never going to lose Christopher Lee.
He'll outlive us all. No. But yeah, so let me see here. So since I wanted to ask it earlier, and since we're kind of at a lull in the movie, which power would you want of the 4 Fantastic Four members? Which one do you think has the best powers?
I'd probably say Reed Richards.
Really?
I think it would be maybe not to be like if it was like you want to have a power to go be a superhero, like if it was like, hey, pick one of these powers and end the Russia-Ukraine war. Maybe not Reed Richards. Maybe I'd go with Johnny Storm. But like just in my daily life, absolutely Reed Richards. Like I think it'd be loads of fun to be able to like change the shape of my body for various reasons.
I bet.
And yeah, I think there'd be so many cool things you could do with that.
I mean, yeah, you could definitely like. If you lock yourself out of your house or something like that, you could just squeeze between the door and just open the door. If you lock yourself out of your car, same thing. Like, there's a lot of like leeway for that. But I mean, Johnny Storm can fly. Like, yeah, the only problem with him is that when he turns his powers on, all of his clothes burn off, which is kind of that would be like, dude, that would cost me a fortune in clothing.
Yeah, you need to have one of the super suits sort of with you, ideally. But yeah, like at least with stretching, like yeah, you're not going to destroy your clothes. Yeah, like nothing would ever be out of reach. Even like if I dropped something like down a grate, like you lose your keys like down a drain, I'm getting those keys back. Like it's just convenient to be able to reshape your body as you need. And then also Reed Richards does ridiculous stuff, which doesn't make any sense to me, but maybe it would work, like turning into a giant trampoline or making myself into a catapult. Could be fun.
Do a giant spring or something like that.
Yeah.
No, that would be fun. I think although invisible woman, like Sue's powers would also be kind of fun. Like turning invisible would just be fun in general. Like if you could just do that at will, like we all know we'd abuse the shit out of that power. But then also like making force fields and shit, like I don't know, I'd have a lot of fun with that. I'd end up like putting a force field in someone's doorway, have them try to walk through it.
I feel like being invisible is fun and like scampish and cool when you're like a child to like a late teen. When you're an adult, it's just crimes.
it's just sexual assault at that point.
It's just various different types of crimes. But I mean, I wouldn't lie. I think being invisible would be kind of cool. Interesting. I don't think either of us have really considered being rocks, and I don't think being rocks would be the best thing to do.
Yeah, I think the Thing's power, and especially because he can't turn it off. Like, because if you were talking about just the Fantastic Four's powers in general, the Thing is he's eternally as he is. So that would be just inconvenient in so many ways. Like, if you want to be a boxer or like a UFC fight, if you want to do something that like that needs feats of strength, then dude, you're good. But if you want to do literally anything else, the Thing's powers are just really, really shitty.
That's it. And like, no one's going to let you like you couldn't really be a boxer who's in matches because you just keep murdering people.
Yeah, you push right through them. So I don't know. Or I guess if you wanted to be like, I mean, Ben could like construction. If he didn't want to be a superhero, he could be like a construction worker, do like the job of like an entire crew.
I think that's it. Like if you're the rocks guy, I think all that would happen to you is you would do incredible work and get paid nothing for it. Like, because the only people who've got to employ you are, like someone who's like, I got to knock down this building. I'm not getting like explosive specialists. You, Rockman, do it.
It's like, all right, you can pay me for pay me the wages of 10 men and I'll do it. It's like that. That's how I would do it. If I can do the job of an entire like wrecking crew by myself, then fuck you, dude. You're gonna pay me more. But I don't know. I try to think about like, yeah, if you're not trying to be a superhero, then which powers would be the most convenient? You're probably right. Reed's would probably be the best of them.
I think so. Interesting. Universal saying pick invisibility. Says the problem is you can't steal anything. Now, Universal, what I put to you is this. When Sue turns invisible, yes, she has to take off her clothes if she's wearing normal clothes to be entirely invisible. But whatever is in, like, let's assume Sue has had breakfast that day. You can't see her breakfast when she turns invisible. So I put it to you. You could steal something, depending on if you could fit it inside you.
I mean, I was going to go a little simpler. She could just bend a force field around the thing that she wants to steal and make it invisible too. But, you know.
Okay, yeah.
But, you know, if you want to go like prison rules, why not?
It all depends on how big. If you steal small things but valuable things, and then put it in your mouth, put it in your cheek, like diamond rings and stuff. You can do that.
I guess. But I mean, so for the ways that aren't crimes, you could also. You're right. You could use invisibility to go anywhere and do anything. Like, I mean, you could go to you want to sneak into a movie. Shit, you want to sneak into a concert? Like, if you ever wanted to go to a club but you don't want to pay the cover charge, just turn invisible. You walk right in.
And to be fair, once you get in, you don't have to stay invisible. Like, you can turn invisible again if like someone's like, "Hey, how did you get in here?" But like, you could just turn it off and enjoy the concert. Exactly. That's a good point.
Go sneak into Coachella, man.
Yeah. You just turn. I'd do stuff like you can just turn up into kitchens in restaurants and take dishes that are ready to order, like ready to serve. Be like, "This is mine now."
Just pick up a plate and walk out. Like, what are they going to do? It's a floating. The plate is, from their perspective, is getting up and floating away. They would be scared shitless, dude. Like, fuck that. I'm like, I don't know. I would be super down for that. I would also scare people. I would go around invisible and just like move shit and like start like pick up a doll and start like making it float across the room.
That might be what I'd do. Is like I'd have to team up with somebody, and we would scam people out of money for like spiritual services.
Have someone become a medium. Yeah, like have them perform a seance, and you are the ghost.
Or like if you've ever seen The Frighteners, Peter Jackson movie with
Michael J. Fox, I believe.
Yeah, Michael J. Fox. Yeah, where he uses ghosts to sort of like set up hauntings, and then gets people to pay him to get rid of the ghosts, and he just tells them to leave. Like that's what I do. I'd be the ghost. I would throw stuff around somebody's house for a while, and then like I get them to call like my brother, and we'd be the Ghostbusters. Like sort of. Like...
That is lovely. Until you actually run into a real ghost.
I suppose the problem is like if anyone did anything to see me in other ways, like they do thermal imaging, and there's just a fat man walking around your living room. Like he's just picking up cushions and stuff. Like I don't know what's going on.
Oh shit! I didn't think about that. Some of those like the Kinects or some shit. Some of those had like infrared cameras on them, so they could track you that way.
Yeah, maybe.
Like, oh shit! And that's also how they did it. I'm pretty sure that's how they did it in the movie Hollow Man. Like they had like thermal goggles.
Yeah.
So I mean, assuming that they have. So yeah, assuming that you're like breaking into someone's house with like military technology.
Yeah, which most people don't have. So you're probably going to be fine.
Yeah, exactly. Oh yeah, I do love this. Like, yeah, we get to see. Is this his first kill, or does he kill the other guy, the board member guy first?
Oh, I can't. I think we were talking through that part, so I'm not sure. Either way, one bit we talked over. I do want to mention is they're testing out Johnny's powers in an earlier scene, and they tell Johnny he's hotter than the sun, and they manage to put out a fire that is hotter than the sun with like 4 fire extinguishers. Right, like yeah, I like that idea that it's like you were reaching the heat as hot as the sun. I'm like, then shouldn't they have ignited the entire area around? Like, shouldn't you all be burning to death right now? Yeah, like that box he was in would have evaporated way before now. Exactly. I'm like, they get in there, it's all melted and shit. I'm like, dude, yeah, the sun wouldn't even melt it. It would like vaporize it. Do you know what? I just saw Johnny Storm like flexing and really feeling himself in the background. Chris Evans is doing a great job at being a douchebag. Like he is actually working his ass off in this.
Like, I feel like he must be a really nice guy in real life, but he just has fun playing the asshole.
Yeah. Oh my God, you're on People magazine, Sue. What are you gonna do?
I mean, I have a hard time believing that she would just get flooded by people that quickly. I mean, maybe like one or two people, but there's no way that everyone would just suddenly like this is my thing. Like later on when Johnny he goes to the motocross like the X Games thing, like everyone just knows his name and is like, oh my God, let's get him on this thing. I'm like, why? Yeah, he saved a little girl on a bridge one time. Like you haven't even seen him do anything like world ending. I'm like, he's not an Avenger for God's sake, not yet.
No, it's interesting. Like maybe, I mean, knowing the media, that could happen. Of like they just pick up on like, hey, this mildly attractive woman is involved in something interesting. Let's make everything about her. I don't know if you remember. You probably won't remember this, but when Prince William got married to Kate Middleton,
yeah, everyone obsessed about what she was doing.
No, everyone obsessed about her sister's butt. Like, because like her sister like was like weddings like they have like the train on the dress where they have to like pick it up and carry it. Like someone behind them like holds up part of the dress, and there were all these photos in like tabloid newspapers of just like her bending down and this woman's butt, and it was the media for weeks. It was Pippa Middleton's ass.
I hate this planet. Like, let the meteor just hit us already. I am done.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous. You know, all right, so I want to say, like you mentioned it a second ago about him being a douchebag. I'm like, it's incredible that he doesn't just like that Ben doesn't just like punch him in the face multiple times throughout the like just now we get a montage of him just being a dick to everyone.
Yeah, like the restraint of Ben Grimm is incredible. That's his real superpower, is that Ben Grimm has not murdered anyone by now.
Yeah, and we did it again with the Jessica Alba implied nudity.
Yeah, we had it when she was running away from people after the People magazine, which I was thinking, like, I hope you didn't have like a wallet in your jacket or anything like that, because you just dumped that stuff on the street.
Yep.
Now, that I don't think is exactly an example of what I think would be handy about getting the toilet paper. Oh, yeah. That might be. Yeah. But like when he's stretching his face.
Your face.
Yeah.
I wonder, wouldn't his hair be rubber too? So like it would be kind of like I feel like it'd be hard to cut his like facial hair.
Oh, that's a good point. Yeah.
Because like that's the one thing that always bugged me is that like we see his like all of his body stretches and whatever, and so is his arm hairs and like his arms and stuff. So I'm like, in theory, his facial hair would be stretchy as well. So
yeah,
like, that seems like getting a haircut must be annoying for him.
I think one of the things that's sad about the Doctor Doom in this is like every scene that we cut to him, it's just him like being mad about not much. He's just kind of like, oh, I'm so angry. And like, yeah, but why? Why, Vic? Like, everything seems fine other than the fact that you're turning metal. Like,
yeah, I'm like, and I guess it's that he's pissed off at his money. Oh, okay, so yeah, this is where the guy dies. And but I mean, all things considered, yeah, he's getting powers. Like, yeah, he's looking like a robot. And he's getting like uglier. He's because I guess he's vain. But other than that, dude, you're getting powers just like the rest of them. You can do some cool shit with it. You can murder this guy.
And like he's not even being like a fun villain. Like what he's, I want to see him like being more sort of Disney villain, ridiculous. I think that would be way more fun.
Or like I'd like to see him be the villain he is in the cartoons or the comic books, where he just wants to like rule Latveria.
Yeah. No, because I think they do have a reference to that at the end of this movie. I think you see him.
Yeah. Oh, I mean they reference it right here. You can always move back to Latveria. And
yeah. No, yeah, yeah.
But I think they do send him off to like a castle in Latveria and then where he starts in the second movie.
Well, it's like I think at the end of this movie, there's a bit where there's a shipping container, and it says like Latveria on the side of it, and it's like Dr. Doom's in there.
Speaking of Latveria, damn it, MCU, give us Latveria already.
Yeah, I'm wondering whether we're going to see some of this stuff. This is what we're going to get in the Fantastic Four movie that's coming. I hope so.
Mm. Like, I mean, if you really want to do something, don't do an origin for the Fantastic Four. Make that movie an origin for Doom. Like, have the Silver Surfer, have Galactus, but make it an origin for Doctor Doom.
Oh yeah, yeah. I think that'd be fun to do. That is a great gag, by the way. The popcorn in the hand. It's gorgeous.
The Jimmy Pop. Like, I do like that as well. All right, so here's one thing I was curious about. So the suits that they were wearing, like they mentioned that it's a second skin or whatever. It acts like a fucking whatever, an insulator for your body, and that's why because it got hit by the cosmic rays, that's why it reacts the same way their bodies did. But they were also wearing spacesuits and jumpsuits and shit. I wonder what happened to those.
I did work because there was in that closet there was a suit that had like the Von Doom logo on it.
That's what I mean. I say that, and I'm like, I wonder what is that also like a stretchy suit, or is that like a special fire retardant, thing?
Because that's what they do in Fan Four Stick, I think, isn't it? That they have it that the suits they were wearing when it happened, they're their Fantastic Four suits because they adopted their powers and they can use them.
Exactly.
No,
so here we go.
Oh right, yeah, the motocross. Here we are.
Yeah, he does motocross, and again, they just let him in because he's just a guy
driving past a Burger King logo, a Samsung logo.
Let's see, we're gonna have how many logos can you spot out in this one scene? Let's see. Oh wait.
Oh, something new. Wow, what if I set myself on fire?
Crystal Geyser, Mountain Dew. Also, this is this is what I'm talking about. He's clearly not a motocrosser. What qualifications does he have to be in this competition or whatever the hell this is?
Yeah, it's a good point.
Like, he's just famous. That's all. That's the only thing.
Also, like, I don't know. I'm trying to think. Did Ghost Rider came out after this?
Yes, I think so. Hang on. Ghost Rider 2007. Yep.
Oh wow! Didn't realize it was that late. Because this just feels like it's just a scene from the Ghost Rider Nick Cage movie.
Yeah. All it needs is Crazy Train playing, and if that's exactly what it is.
I watched that movie way too much. I got real into that movie for a little while when I was like 15.
Which one do you prefer, the first one or the second one?
I haven't really seen the second one.
Really?
So yeah, I sort of missed it. I think because when did that come out? I think I'd sort of gotten over it by then.
2009, 2010, I think.
Yeah, I think because by that time I was like 17, 18, and I was like, nah, man. I'm too cool for this shit.
It's like, I don't need your Ghost Rider.
But I had that movie on DVD and I watched it a bunch and I was like, yeah, man, it's fucking Ghost Rider. He's got skulls and shit. And, I love my skulls.
All right, so yeah, IAT's in here saying, I'm telling you, it's the Larry King spot. If Victor went to the show, I'd like to imagine he'd have been Victor Von Fun. That's funny.
I mean, that is kind of a thing. He's seeing these guys becoming celebrities and being kind of adored by people. Turn up and be like, yeah, and I'm the metal man. Like, I'm awesome. It would work.
All right, so let's see here. We got Burger King, we got Fox, we got Sobe, we got Pepsi, Crystal Geyser, Dos Equis I saw in there.
Damn.
Like, dude, there are so many. Family Guy. Jesus Christ.
Johnny, the thing really almost just killed you. If he'd landed that punch, you would be so dead. Yeah,
so does it make the idea, I guess, does he have durability in addition to the flying thing? Because I feel like that would still hurt him pretty badly.
We sort of talked about this a bit before. It kind of there's a lot of superheroes where it has to be sort of assumed that they are super durable, otherwise, like their powers couldn't work. It's like how you're like Quicksilver or the Flash. Like you can't move at those speeds and survive, like unless that's another part of your superpower. Because otherwise, like as soon as you'd stop, you'd have a stroke.
Yeah,
like
or like
at
the friction
least.
would like wear your feet, like the friction would like wear your legs down to nubs.
Yeah. So like I guess there must be something like that to it. Even like with Reed, like there's something to be said of like, okay, since he's like stretchy, he could kind of dissipate the force of any hit to him. I'm like, is that definitely how it works though? Like, I think I've seen those hydraulic press videos. You can make rubber bands explode.
Yeah, like if you've ever seen a rubber band ball just go boof. But yeah, no, so it's always been my thing of like, I guess Johnny must be slightly more like, again, durable, like in addition to having the flame powers, because yeah, there's no way you take that without breaking at least a couple bones. But anyway, so let me see here. I hate that phrase. I hate that fucking phrase. We're all in this together. That's a bullshit phrase. It means nothing.
Not just because it reminds you of High School Musical.
Well, that too, but it also reminds me of COVID, and that's what people were. We're all in this together, guys. And no, we are fucking not.
The COVID one was, especially as I was a copywriter during COVID, writing the phrase "we are in unprecedented times" was the one that's going to haunt me forever.
In these unprecedented times, like, oh my fucking Christ.
Yeah.
Yeah, no. I remember like during that time you made like a tweet of like, I swear to God, if I have to type in these unprecedented times one more goddamn time.
Man, like, oh man, nah. Weirdly, this is that. It's coming up, but that line of like, what happens to rubber when it's super cooled is like locked in my head for some reason. It's like the one line I can remember from this movie.
I like how when Ben walked in, the fucking the jukebox went and like it scratched to a stop.
Oh.
Also, so yeah, no, this is sad. But it is kind of like a nice, sweet moment when he gets to with the blind girl. I'm like, oh, that's nice because she doesn't care about looks. Like she doesn't give a shit about petty things like that.
Yeah.
But Johnny does ask a question in the second one that I am curious about. How do they,
Yeah, right. Like going back to Kevin Smith and Mallrats and Stan Lee. Like, what's happening there? What do you do with that? Like, because yeah, sure, she can't see him, but at some point she's gonna touch him and then be like, "Oh, what the hell is this? What's going on?" He's got
he's got like a Rocky Dennis face going on there, and I don't know if you got that, you get that reference, but yeah, he's got a Rocky Dennis face. You ever see Eric Stoltz's Mask?
Eric Stoltz's Mask? No, what?
Well, Eric Stoltz is the actor, and it's the movie's called Mask. Google Rocky Dennis, and you'll see exactly what I'm talking about.
Oh wait, I think I do know what you're talking about because a thing appeared in my head, an image of a face that is like a meme now.
Yeah, you might be knowing what I'm talking about, but yeah, so
yeah. Oh god, I don't know anything about this movie, but I've seen this image.
So yeah, he's got that kind of face, and so like the second she might be a little more. I mean, it shows you literally she just touched his face. She wasn't abrasive to it, but I'm still though, like that's different when he actually like. Also, this okay. I'm gonna ask a question here, and I want you to bear with me. For a rock man, what does it mean to get hard? Like, is he always, because he's a rock? Is he always just erect, or is he just like what does it mean to go soft for Ben Grimm? Like, that's my question there.
That's a really good question. I have no idea what that means.
Like, there's just.
Does he just get more rocks? Is it just go tock, 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 tock? Like what?
Do the rocks stretch? Do they get bigger? Like, what? There's so many things. Like, I don't even. Also, do they erode? Like over time, like over use, does his rocks erode? Like, would it get smoother, basically? I'm going on we are going into Mallrats territory.
But I think it's valid questions. Like, but yeah, like, because even obviously not all relationships have to be sexual. They don't all have to be, but a lot of them are. It's a big thing. Physical intimacy. It's a big thing in romantic relationships. Just is.
Yes.
So I wonder if it's like more of going at. You sort of have to bring some power tools. Like, you're not necessarily chipping away at it, but you need something with a really hard rumble, like to sort of like press against bits of him. Is what I think is going on with Ben Grimm.
Yeah, that would make sense. I also like this answer. He's got a Ken doll bump down there.
Man, if that is true, like, I think it's that thing of like no one's saying what he's really upset about, but that's it.
Oh yeah, no, I would be pissed at that point. It's just like, no, I would want to smash shit too, and yeah. I'm also curious. So in the new one, in the one that we see the Ben Grimm in the new in First Steps, he grows a rock beard.
Yes.
So that I'm curious on how the hell that works.
No, so yeah, I saw things about that, and I have seen plenty of it has happened in the comics. There are episodes, issues in the comics. I think during is it in the big Fixing Everything arc? Might be in the Fixing Everything arc, or I'm not sure. But Reed Richards goes through time. No, Fixing Everything is going through dimensions. So anyway, he goes through time and he meets like a future Ben Grimm, and Ben Grimm has grown a rock beard. So it makes sort of sense to me that it has like a kind of, there's something organic going on maybe, which also makes me think like, does he have rock pubes?
Yeah, there's so many questions there.
So I can go with he's bald. If it's like, oh, he could grow rock hair, but he's bald, so he just doesn't grow hair. He wasn't growing hair anyway. So I'm like, okay, fine.
Because in the second movie, he touches when they switch powers. Johnny has hair. Johnny has hair, even though he's a rock man.
Right. Okay. Yeah. So I can go with that. So then, like, even like just like, yeah. Does he have pubes? Does he? I mean, does he need to take an angle grinder to like his armpits sometimes? Like, because like, I'm not saying that like everyone should shave their pits, but I'm just like, if what's in your pits is pebbles, could be kind of getting in the way.
I would, yeah. Dude, that's a crazy thing. Like, and if he does have rock pubes, does he just break the? Like, he can't obviously shave them, so does he have to like break them off or like chip them off with a fucking chisel?
Yeah. Like someone is there with a hammer and chisel, being like, "Okay, man." To like,
John Early says something. I says, I noticed how you guys never talked about this sexual rock thing with Taika Waititi's Korg. I'm like, no, we never did, and it's because I guess it never came up because I think Korg. We do see him as being smooth. Like he like there's a part where he's not wearing pants. Or like,
I think part of it is that like because Korg is like a rock, like all of his people are made of rocks. They are just rock folk, whereas Ben's a man that got turned into rocks. He presumably had a penis. Like, what happened to it?
That's true. I also like the idea, like. This is not true, and I don't think this ever was a thing in the comics, but I like the idea that Ben just became one of the Korg people.
Yeah.
He just got mutated and became one of those Korg people. Banded iron formation is unbreak. I don't know what that is, but okay. Okay, Universal, whatever you say, buddy.
Banded iron formation.
I do like all these little puns, like him. Oh, bud, why am I waiting? So you can play Twister with your girlfriend? I'm like, dude. I'm like, this is pretty cool. Like the CGI isn't great, but it's still. I think it holds up a little bit.
Oh yeah, like I think it does what it needs to do, and like I think they do enough stuff in this. Like they spend a lot of time, I think, trying to avoid showing like his skin stretching. Like as soon as he got the suit, then most of the time it's his suit that's stretched, because then you don't get the same thing like you had with his arm before, where it's like you know what human skin looks like, so it's a bit weird when you see it doing things you know shouldn't do.
Mm-hmm. Let's see. I mean, so all right, I want to talk about this real quick. So Victor's plan was basically to get Ben out of the way and get it so that way he could like kidnap Reed and shoot a missile at Johnny and whatever. But I'm like, does he really think that Ben is like the deciding factor on that one? Like, I don't, because you could just any weaponry you have to take them out. I'm pretty sure you like a bomb is going to make him blow up. Like he's going to turn him into a pile of rubble.
Yeah, I don't quite get it because like I think that's one of the things that's a bit odd about this movie, maybe. It's like they haven't done anything. It's not like they have gotten their powers and then through an action of theirs ruined something for Victor Von Doom, or other than taking the Larry King spot, IAT, of course. Like they haven't sort of upset him, so it feels a little odd that we need to do any of this. And it feels like they're sort of breaking apart already. Like just what's happening to them is already causing enough trouble with them. They're like, you could probably leave them on their own and they would stop hanging out.
Exactly. I'm like, you probably wouldn't even need to like do any of this like crazy rigmarole stuff. I'm like, you could just, I don't know, man. I feel like he's making it really like needlessly complicated to kill all of them. And
like, it's a bit weird because it's like they've got this thing where, unlike, say, like the Spider-Man movies, which I think had set such a precedent for how superhero movies should go for a long time, they don't have like a thing that is making them want to be superheroes. Like Ben saved that guy because like Ben is largely a decent person, and then realizes, oh, I can take a hit from a truck and I'll be okay. But like, they don't have an Uncle Ben. They don't have like a thing where they're like, hey, we've got to go out and use our powers for good. They're just kind of like, they're scientists, or at least Reed is. And then Johnny's just like, I want to be like in the X Games and I want to be famous. Sue doesn't want to be famous, so like Sue could just stay at home. And then Ben is much more worried about the fact that his life's ruined. He hasn't got like a need to save people.
Exactly. Like the only reason they become superheroes is because he makes them become superheroes. Like Victor being a bad guy is what makes them like band together and become a team of superheroes.
Yeah. Like I'm not saying that this is a bad thing necessarily, but I think it just means that they struggle, I think, in this movie to sort of make a motivation for the Fantastic Four to be very fantastic, I'd say.
Agreed. And it's entirely based on Victor just kind of irrationally hates them for him just turning metal. And it's not even like, honestly, I think it's, he hates Reed for that. He hates Sue for like rejecting him. He hates Ben for whatever fucking reason. And Johnny is just kind of there.
That shot there of Reed's face is quite grody. Like that looks pretty. Ugh.
Yeah, they never really like go into any other like he takes a whole like extra shot of radiation and they never like go into any kind of thing, any like adverse effects other than just, oh yeah, he's droopy for a minute. John
said in the chat that Victor Von Doom feels like Willem Dafoe's Green Goblin. He kept attacking the hero because he's a villain, and that's what the script calls for. And it does have a bit of that. Like I was thinking earlier, it's got this sort of implication, it seems, that the powers or what's happened to Victor Von Doom is sort of turning him mad, like making him sort of violently sort of psychotic, which sort of, I think, worked for Willem Dafoe's Green Goblin because there's the whole thing of like how he made him test the superhero serum or super soldier serum on him, and they didn't know what it was going to do, and they said there might be bad side effects. But with this movie, it doesn't work quite as well because obviously you have the other four who don't experience those sort of same side effects. They don't have like a big mental change other than coping with what the physical changes have done.
Agreed.
So it feels a bit weird.
And wouldn't you argue that Ben would be like more likely to have those adverse effects because he got the biggest hit of the radiation?
Yeah, you would think so. You would think that like if anyone's going to have something, and also he he is the sort of monster of it. I mean, maybe that they're doing a kind of Frankenstein thing. Well, I think they're obviously doing a sort of Frankenstein thing of who was the real monster. Was it the monster or was it man?
It's man.
Yeah, it turns out it's man.
Like the scary door. Turns out it's man.
So yeah, but it's this is so of its time. It's really fascinating. After having over 10 years now, but when Endgame came out, or whichever one it was, Infinity War, and it was 10 years of the MCU, and the MCU just changed superhero movies so much. Going back to that pre-MCU era of what superhero movies were like, and they're so kind of formulaic and so oh yeah, this is how we made movies in the 2000s. They all had these plots. They all looked the same way and did the same things. It's fascinating.
I mean, that's true, but when we ended up getting to like the 2010s era, that's when they started doing the weird stuff of having the beam of light that was in every goddamn superhero movie.
Yeah, the blue sky laser that happened in every movie.
And it either opened a portal or it dispersed some kind of gas or something, but it was always blasting a beam of light up into the air for whatever reason.
Yeah, that's very true.
I do miss the early days before we had that, because that was a trend that happened even in the MCU. They did that multiple times. Wow. Dude,
I'm surprised. I thought that we saw a completely metal Doctor Doom earlier than this. But he takes ages to lose all of his skin.
Yeah. And they only do it because of the him with the storm and shit. But maybe it's just the makeup is just really hard to do, because I feel like that hand makeup and the prosthetics on his hands must have been annoying. Also, all of that shit on his arms and Go ahead.
Sorry, John's put a comment, says, do you feel like Batman Returns is a smarter film than Fantastic Four, or do you think it's the other way around? So Batman Returns is Catwoman and Penguin Batman, right?
Yes, Danny DeVito and Michelle Pfeiffer.
Do I think that's a smarter movie?
It's smarter in what way? Do we mean smarter as in it's written smarter, or it's better? The writing is or the plot is better? But I'm because I don't know. I don't think either of them is smart, because they're superhero movies, right? I don't know. I'm not sure if when I think intellectual film, I think Iron Man.
Yeah, I'd say it's a better movie. I have my issues with Tim Burton Batman, but I think that's a more enjoyable movie than this one is. Again, not saying this one's terrible, but that movie's fun. It's campy. It's goth as hell. It knows what it is.
It's Tim Burton style all over it, versus this, which is very like you said, it's very formulaic and very of its time. But that Batman Returns one is it's a timeless classic, because it's just Tim Burton all over.
Yeah, but I will also accept that Batman Returns is a dumb movie in plenty of moments.
It says which one is deeper and more entertaining? So probably Batman Returns. I'm gonna say more than likely Batman.
I struggle to call it deep. I'm not sure deep is what I would say about it, but it's more entertaining, and I'd say it's a better made movie.
Yeah, deep. All right, I'll give you this. If you want to go in for the arsiness of Batman, both Batman and Catwoman showing up to the costume ball without costumes on, and then the symbolism of that of Bruce Wayne and Selena Kyle being their costumes, that is about as deep as it gets. But the rest of the movie is just nonsensical.
Yeah, I mean, when
Penguin flies away on a helicopter umbrella. You kidding me?
Yeah, when Batman goes into the sewers and rocket penguins start flying at him,
dude.
All right.
When Penguin is riding around in a fucking a monster truck duck thing, a ATV duck, I'm it's very goofy and very campy, but it's also the more entertaining and better movie.
Yeah.
So that would hurt like hell to have your fingers snapped back like that. fuck that.
Yeah, so okay, so it's like he was turning into metal, but he's also put a metal mask on.
Yeah, and then later on, like, it gets fused to his face because they melt, because Johnny melts it on there,
Right?
Like with the supernova part. I'm like, there's a lot that's dumb about that. But at least, you know what? I'll say this: at least the costume, you can see at least it looks the most comic accurate costume we probably have ever seen.
I've got to give him that. Yeah, that looks a hell of a lot like Doctor Doom. It's definitely better than Van Forstic.
Hey, dude, straight up. And I'm gonna say probably we'll see how the MCU version does. Oh, he's gonna say it. He's gonna say it. You ready?
Flame on!
Come on, flame on! I like how that just becomes a thing. It's like he has to physically say "flame on" for it to happen.
Bat.
Exactly what that is. He's Laszlo. You are not a fan of German expressionism, are you? That's how Batman Returns tells a story. German expressionism? I wouldn't know. Maybe.
Yeah, I'll be perfectly honest. I have not indulged much in German expressionism. You know, like I've seen an anime like adaptation of Metropolis. That's about as far as that goes.
I mean, I've watched Metropolis. I mean, if that was a German expressionism, then I'm like, oh yeah, it's interesting, I guess.
I think it might be. I might also be wrong. Although I do thoroughly recommend the anime version of Metropolis. It's a very good movie.
All right, I'll give it a try. Oh, he's gonna burn some. Shame on you, Johnny. You know how bad that is for the environment. You're burning trash.
I kind of at least appreciate that this is a slightly clever way of using Johnny Storm. It's not that he's just setting fire to something. It's like, okay, heat-seeking missile. We're going to use that, and we used it to get him out of the city and get the missile away from people. I think that works.
Yeah. No, it was a clever way of doing it. I'm just saying, though. Shame on you, burning trash.
Do you know what? Just then, that shot where it zooms in on the those canisters, and then the handle moves on its own. For a movie with an invisible person in it, there is nowhere near enough shenanigans of things moving on their own. Like, for some reason, I love that sort of stuff so much. I love it in movies where there's a ghost and the ghost just literally makes things move. It's one of my favorite things about the Ghostbusters new movie they did, not the latest one, Frozen Empire, the one they did before, where Egon is a ghost and he just moves lamps and things. I love it. It's such like 80s shenanigans, and I think it's fantastic.
See, and like I think the only reason that they didn't there's two reasons. One is that they got Jessica Alba, and they're not going to waste time on shenanigans when they could waste time on, hey, how naked is she right now, guys? But also, usually I find that when like they do like invisible people, like invisible powers, it's usually for like heist movies, or like the invisible person has to steal something, and like that's usually when they do like invisible shenanigans, is when like they're moving around, having to like, okay, let me just fucking move this around. You know what I mean? But again, like because it's Jessica Alba and they wanted to have her be naked.
Unfortunately, they don't make anything in this plot where like it requires that someone is invisible. That's like the only moment really where it's been like super necessary for someone to not be seen. Yeah,
exactly. And so like I wish that they had written more scenes like that, but yeah, that was why they focused more on the horniness of it rather than the like the fun of her power.
Little aside, but like it's a terrible movie. But one of my favorite invisible things from a movie is I really like the Invisible Man stuff in The League of Extraordinary Gentlemen. Big fan of that.
Even though it's a bad movie, I do really like League of Extraordinary Gentlemen. It's such a bad movie, but I love it.
Yeah. No, have you read the book? Have you read the comics?
I'm familiar with them. I know they are a lot darker than the movie could ever be.
Oh yeah, man. The Invisible Man's terrible in the comics, but like I like that he's just a little cockney. Oh, I'm a little thief. I'm a little artful dodger. I am in the movie.
I mean, kind of. Yeah. I like how the movie, in an attempt to appeal to American audiences, is just like, let's shoehorn in fucking Tom Sawyer.
Yeah, I do like that. It's like, what Victorian literature could we put in that's got an American hero? I know, Tom Sawyer of all people. Like, surely, like you've got some like Western characters or something. Like, put Wyatt Earp in there or something. Like, I know he's a real guy, but do something.
Yeah, or I know what you mean though. Like, for God's sake, they put Tom Sawyer. But again, I mean, we don't have very many. We have that. We have Huck Finn, and we have like, I want to say those two guys from Of Mice and Men.
I'm guessing like they couldn't get the rights to the Lone Ranger, because like something like that. Surely that's what you put in, right? Like the Lone Ranger.
Is that Victor? I guess, yeah. I don't know. Would that be around the right time? Whatever. I'm not. It's a comic book movie. What the hell am I getting all hung up on details for?
Well, I assume like most Western stuff is like the 19th century.
I think so. Yeah, you're right. Like 1800s, 19. Yeah. So you're probably right. Lone Ranger is probably the best bet.
Okay, yeah. So it says like, at least with the movie, it says it's like the events that took place in 1869. So yeah, put the Lone Ranger in there.
All right, so yeah, fuck it. I'd be down for the Lone Ranger because fuck Tom Sawyer.
Well, yeah, it's like, why is Tom Sawyer like a gun-toting badass? Well, like it's like instead of just like, I don't know, trying to trick people into painting fences for him.
Yeah, no, that's a good point. Also, all right, so here we go. Here comes the part where I'm just like, I feel like even if she had a force field, it's not going to withhold, or it's not going to hold in the sun, which is, yeah,
do you know what?
Like,
this is something that I had a problem with for a long time, and I still kind of have a problem with. And comics did it for a long time with female characters. You see in the X-Men, they make loads of female characters have various types of force fields. And they spent, so whether it's Jean Grey having some sort of psychic telekinetic force field, or it's Sue Storm having her invisibility force fields. And it means that all they ever do in like movies and shows and whatever is they stand there and go, I can't hold it any longer. And I'm
kind of, yeah, that is their whole purpose. Yeah, no, I mean, just now we saw Reed do like some crazy shit with his powers, and now really all Sue gets to do is, it's too powerful, and she gets a nosebleed.
Yeah, it's
like,
it's not. I think there are other characters that have had force fields. It's always the problem of a force field. It's like just someone screaming that they can't hold it.
Call me crazy. I think we're gonna see that in the new Fantastic Four movie that comes out. We're gonna see her have a scene like that.
Yeah, probably.
Yep, there's the nosebleed. So, let me see here. I still argue that she wouldn't be able to hold in the power of a fucking sun.
Yeah, no, I like they already said about the atmosphere catching fire and stuff like that. Like there are so many issues with that level of heat, and they didn't have to say that because he couldn't reach that hot. It'd be ridiculous.
Also, that's kind of the same thing. They do the same thing that they did in Ghostbusters. It's like, don't ever cross the streams. Guys, cross the streams. And then they had to cross the streams to beat the bad. So, like, don't ever go supernova. And then he had to go supernova.
Actually, a couple of things that John said. One, Unforgiven being his favorite modern-day Western. Unforgiven's a very good Western. I do like Unforgiven. I also like Tombstone. Very good Western.
Oh, Tombstone is great. 310 to Yuma. And then also, personally, there's just Justified. That's a TV show.
Is that the Timothy Oliphant? Like he's a marshal? Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
It's kind of like a Han Solo type, but he's a cop.
Yeah. And also, is Fantastic Four and X3 The Last Stand the same type of dumb?
No. X3 is dumber. I'm going to say that right now. X3 is absolutely dumber. I think X3 is worse because they really do the Phoenix dirty.
Yeah.
They also do Not dirty. They do a lot of characters wrong in that movie. I think, and it's because Bryan Singer wasn't the director.
Yeah. Weirdly, there are some bits of that movie that I think are amazing. They're very small bits, but I think they're fantastic. That it's been going around a lot recently, but that clip of Magneto, that no one ever talks about it. They just do it.
Just do it. Yeah, it's because it's very, very relevant right now.
It's so good, and like, you know, that's the best stuff I think you can do with a character like Magneto. I love it when Magneto's like, the reason I don't trust any of these people is because this has happened before. I was there. No, let's not have this. And I like that. But then, yeah, the rest of X3 is bad. Like,
yeah, but there's every bad movie can have like one really good scene. I love this. I love the giant fucking Nikes. But yeah, but every bad movie can have at least one good scene or one good thing about it. But yeah, it's still a bad movie.
And to be fair, also it did do the right thing of casting Kelsey Grammer as the Beast, because that is the perfect casting there's ever been for an X-Men thing. It was like, yes, Nicholas Hoult is awful as the Beast. He's a fine actor. He's been in many good things, but he's terrible as Beast. I hate it.
Yeah, I absolutely agree. And it's not even as Beast. It's as Hank. Hank McCoy. Just trying to be a Hank McCoy is just, he doesn't do it well.
Well, and like, yeah, it's something that really annoys me because, of course, as comic book fans, especially if X-Men fans know, Hank wasn't always furry, but he was always huge. Like, he was,
he was always like well spoken. He was always like well spoken, well read, and that guy just doesn't give off that same energy.
Yeah, not at all. And giving him weird feet is not good enough. Oh god, that scene where he's talking to Raven and he's like, my feet and your blue skin, no one would ever accept us. I'm like, dude, you were wearing normal shoes. You just keep your shoes on. No one's gonna care. No one knows about your feet.
Also, yeah, bullshit. No one's gonna accept Mystique. I'm like, she's still Jennifer Lawrence, just with blue fucking paint on her.
Yeah, who can also not look like Jennifer, not look like she's blue whenever she wants. Like, it's dumb. No, I hate that Beast. I hate it so much because Beast is one of my favorite X-Men. I think Beast is so damn cool.
I totally buy that Magneto would abandon Mystique because she's human now. Well, no, that again, another fine scene, like, makes absolute sense, but it's like still bad movie.
Yeah, it's actually, like, I've heard someone complaining about it, but I kind of like it. You know, it's that sort of nuanced thing of like how, like, I think, like I say, like Magneto is kind of right about things, but he's also quite wrong about things. Like, and you know, it's getting that in between and stuff, and that's sort of what the whole story is about. Is what should we do in times like these? Oh, fuck off, Johnny Storm.
He literally ignited the goddamn atmosphere to make that.
Actually, yeah, that's not how anything works. You can't just suspend fire in the air like that. What's burning?
Exactly. I'm like, that's not how that works, but it's cool. It's comic booky, but it's not, doesn't make any sense. But yeah, all right, so here, that's the final scene, and not the reveal, but the, what's it called? The Easter egg I love how this is an end credit scene before end credit scene happened.
Yeah.
And it didn't wait.
It's an end credit scene before the credits.
Yeah, like if this was released today, you would have had to watch a whole 15 minutes of credits to get to this one thing, just to be like, oh look, he's still alive. Doctor Strange is coming back for the second. Doctor Strange or Doctor Doom will return. Anyway, so yeah,
oh my God.
That was. Oh, it's a million. What else could be in there? It's Raiders of the and yeah, right. It does say Latveria on the ship.
What? He's going to Latveria? Oh my God!
All right, guys, and that was fucking Fantastic Four 2005, and wow. I think I should have just left it in the nostalgia parts of my memory. I shouldn't have watched it again because I'm just like, damn, dude. There's a lot of just a lot of bad parts. Well, not necessarily bad parts, just parts that are unnecessary. That are just like.
Yeah, it's got, again, I think it was part of that sort of era. There's actually a lot of the movie where not much happens, and you're sort of like, oh yeah, we're still doing this. Are you guys going to be superheroes at any point?
Oh shit! I forgot. Nicholas Hoult is going to be Lex Luthor. I forgot about that.
Yeah, absolutely happy with that casting. I think that works. I think that's fine. He just shouldn't be Hank McCoy.
I still think we should bring back Kevin Spacey. We should let him do it again. Think about it. He could lead the Legion of Groom. Nah. Okay, bad joke.
I like that.
But yeah, so anyway, I think that's where we're gonna. All right. So, final thoughts, Harrison. What are your thoughts on this movie? Finally, after watching it again after so many years,
it was a good try. Well done. You did some things well enough, and there was plenty of other stuff that didn't do it as well. Well, there was some other stuff that didn't do it as well. Maybe not plenty. Like, you know, interestingly, with all these 2000s superhero movies, it is often like, which of these not very good movies do you hate the least? And, you know, it just comes down to personal preference. Punisher, very good. Now, you see, interestingly, I haven't watched it in a long while, but for some reason, my head is telling me that I will enjoy the Ben Affleck Daredevil more than I enjoyed the 2005 Fantastic Four. And I'm not sure I'm right about that, but I don't know.
So yeah, but of that, there was the Fantastic Four, both of them. There was Spider-Man, the Punisher, Daredevil, and the X-Men movies. And holy God, they had their own cinematic universe long before the MCU ever came out. It's wild to think about.
Yeah, they just didn't want to connect any of them.
Oh, and the Ang Lee Hulk. And the Ang Lee Hulk. I forgot about that.
Oh, the Ang Lee Hulk. Ooh. Oh, I forgot about that.
Yeah, we all tried to forget about it, but anyway. All right, so I'll read the last few comments, and then we'll get out of here. IAT says, have a good day, boys. Thanks for hanging out with us. Absolutely. Thank you for hanging out with us. Thanks for watching, or at least listening to us watch the movie. John says, Fantastic Four is the polar opposite of Batman Begins because Begins had an interesting story. Oh, that's right. I think Batman Begins came out in 08, didn't it?
Yeah. I was talking about the MCU, but I forgot that how much the Nolan Batman movies, at least for DC, how much they changed everything. Because DC's been chasing that ever since.
Yep. They're begging. They wish Nolan would come back for another one.
Well, and that's why it's really interesting to see James Gunn taking over, because I don't think he's going to do that.
Yeah, no, fair. All right, guys. I think that's where we're going to end it. This has been a fun fever dream of a movie, but let's go ahead and wrap it up here. Oh, actually, before we go, I have one thing I wanted to show. Something came in the mail for me the other day for old Gilbo Baggins, and it actually does say Gilbo Baggins on the
Oh, damn. Oh,
yeah. So our good friend, let me read this right. Stashek in the comments, he sent me the stained glass fucking logo, or our Fulcrum Knight. So like next week, you guys will. I was thinking about putting it in my window, but that's probably not going to happen because I don't want my cat to get to it. So I'm probably going to hang it up on my wall. Like, so in the future, you guys will probably see it either like over here or somewhere in the background.
That's so cool.
And so yeah. And if you guys want to send us more, well, if you want to send me more stuff, I don't know if you want to send more fan art or more like I can't speak for you, Harrison. I don't know if you have a PO box or what you want to do there, but yeah, you can send it.
Don't know. I don't have a PO box, and obviously, like, I don't want to make anyone send anything international if you don't have to.
I was thinking about that too, because the shipping for that must be insane.
Yeah.
But anyway, so yeah, there is a PO box now in our at least for the next 6 months. I'm going to have that in our comments. So if you want to send fan art or other stuff like that, send it there. If you want to send us a shout out, send us a letter or something. I don't know. And awesome. And we'll start doing unboxing videos or stuff like that. But until then, Harrison, you got anything you wanted to talk about or anything you want to say? Anything you've been looking at doing on the channel?
Not at the moment. I don't want to make any promises. I'm working on some stuff. Things are real busy at the moment.
Very good. And yeah, that's fine. Life happens. But in the meantime, go check out the videos I made from Duke City Comic Con, the panel, yes. the Power Rangers, and the Andy Serkis panel. They had, like, dude, come on, it's Gollum. Go listen to the motherfucker talk. And yeah, and then be on the lookout for my cosplay video, which should be, of course, in the next week or so. And yeah. But until then, there are other things in the works, comic book or audio comics, audio books, stuff. stay tuned. But until next time, I have been Gilbert.
I've been Harry.
And this has been the Fulcrum Entertainment Podcast. Thank you all for watching. Thank you all for being here in the chat. And, of course, thank you to our members who are awesome and continue to help us make this channel go. And, as always, we are all Fulcrum. We will see you guys next week. Same bat time, same bat channel. See you, everybody.